Coming up on the road to WAC Vegas, Seattle U is making history. The Red Hawks remain red hot in WAC play. A big crowd in Las Cruces watches Teddy get some buckets. Utah Valley has a historic shooting night. And Lamar women's basketball hopes there's no place like home. We talk with Cardinals head coach Aqua Franklin. That's all ahead on the road to WAC Vegas.
New Mexico State going on to the tournament. Just a phenomenal game. What college basketball is all about.
Welcome to Road to WAC Vegas. I'm Kendra Sheehan. Going into this past week, Seattle University was the only unbeaten men's team in WAC play. And after this past week, the Red Hawks remained the only unbeaten team in WAC play. Hosting Stephen F. Austin at Climate Pledge Arena on Thursday, Riley Grigsby nails the shot at the end of the half. SU leads by 12. Grigsby finishes with 18 points on the night. Second half, Cameron Tyson hits the three from the corner. Seattle U wins their 8th straight, a final of 70-62. On Saturday afternoon at the Red Hawks Center, our featured game of the week against Sam Houston. The Bearcats start off hot, block shot on one end, Savion Flagg converts on the other. Sam Houston led by as many as 19 in the first half. But back come the Red Hawks, Grigsby. He would score his 1,000th career point in this game. Seattle U outscores the Bearcats 48-24 in the second half and are now 8-0 in the WAC for the first time in their history with a 78-63 victory. Things do not get any easier for Coach Victor and the Red Hawks. Thursday night, Seattle U visits Grand Canyon. That will be a 7 p.m. Mountain Time start. Then on Saturday, they will be in our WAC featured game of the week at New Mexico State. SU has never won in Las Cruces. That will be a 4 p.m. Mountain Time tip on ESPN+. More than 12,000 fans were on hand to witness New Mexico State hosting Grand Canyon on Saturday night. On Whiteout Night in Las Cruces, NM State looking for their 29th consecutive conference home win. It would be a big night for Teddy Allen. Chance McMillan goes for the dunk, but Allen chases him down for the block. Aggies up 6 at the half. On the offensive end, Allen goes 8 of 11 from the floor. He scores 28 points and grabs a career-high 12 rebounds. Allen is named WAC Ticket Smarter Player of the Week. New Mexico State wins 71-61 and are now in sole possession of second place in the conference standings. Utah Valley is now 5-3 in the WAC. The Wolverines have won 3 in a row. Playing at Chicago State, UVU shoots better than 69% from the floor. That's their best shooting percentage in one game since 2014. They also made more than 72% of their three-point shots. That's the Wolverines' most since 2007. Sophomore guard Justin Harmon returned for his first game since the Wolverines knocked off BYU on December 1st. He scores 12 off the bench. Utah Valley wins 101-87. UVU will be on the road again this week, heading to Nacogdoches to take on Stephen F. Austin on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Then visiting Huntsville for a matchup with Sam Houston at 2 p.m. Central on Saturday. Both games are on ESPN+. The Lamar women's basketball team has won 5 of their last 7 games. Coming up next, we talk with Cardinals head coach Aqua Franklin. Stay with us.
Fans, welcome back to WAC Vegas. As we celebrate more than a decade of madness at the Orleans Arena, the 2022 Hercules Tires WAC Basketball Tournament, March 9th through the 12th. In this year, there are even more games to watch, with 20 teams in Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to WACsports.com.
Welcome back to the Road to WAC Vegas. I'm Kendra Sheehan, joined by Lamar women's basketball head coach Aqua Franklin. Cardinals are 10-8 on this season, 5-4 in conference play. And coach, you were picked to finish 8th in the league in the preseason coaches poll. Of course, you suffered some injuries along the way. How has this team had to adapt throughout the season so far?
This team is so resilient. I'm so proud of them and all the obstacles that we've overcome. It's unfortunate that a few of our players have sustained some injuries that, we couldn't foresee. But one thing about this team, they've never given up. They've never stopped. It's always been next man up, no matter what. And so, we've done a great job of just coming out and playing. When the lights come on, we're ready to go, no matter who's available and who's not. And I think, we've put together a couple of stretches where we've won, 3 games in a row. We got to get over that hump and get to that 4th win, without any stoppage. Fingers crossed that we don't have any more stoppages. But this team, I love them. They play really hard, as you see, and we're always up for any challenge that comes our way.
When you talk about the resilience of this team, that double overtime win against Utah Valley stands out in my mind. What did you learn about the heart of that team during that victory?
Throughout my career here, we've had, a handful of overtime games, and, we've won a few here and there, but we've never got over the hump where we know we're going to go into this overtime and it's going to be our game. And so it was a huge stand for our program and for our young ladies to see that we have more in the tank always. That Utah Valley game was unbelievable to coach, to be a part of. And again, they showed their resilience of not giving up. Man, that's a well-coached team. Any mistake we made, they capitalize on. They made adjustments coming out of halftime. And, our ladies just continue to grow and get better. And that's one of the games where we followed the game plan for 40 minutes. But I always tell my team, God gives us tests until we pass them. And so this overtime was a test for us to see if we can push through. And that was one of the games where we pressed for 40 minutes, and we hadn't done that in a really long time. We put the press on, we take it off, but we pressed for 40 minutes, and then we were able to come away with a W. So it just showed what we have, and we had a lot of people step up when we had some people, not able to score the ball as well. With Sabria Dean, she struggled scoring, but there was other people that stepped up, like Angel Hastings off the bench.
Speaking of different people stepping up, who is somebody that has surprised you the most in a good way this season, whether it is the way that they're playing on the court or how they behave in their leadership off the floor?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Acacia Davis. She's 4-time freshman of the week in the WAC, and just an unbelievable kid. Just as good as she is on the court, she's even better off the court. It's a 4.0 student. She's just loved by her teammates. She wants to come in and do whatever it takes. She doesn't even know how good she can be yet. The ceiling is, I don't think she has one. It's kind of like the sky's the limit for her, but she just continues to get better each and every day. And her teammates support her in that role with her being, young. And I've told her, after Christmas, you're not a freshman no more. You got to grow up. And she's done a great job of taking on the role of being our leading scorer. And I'm just excited to be a part of her journey. And I know her teammates are really excited to have her because it opens it up for our outside game as well.
And no one expects you to be playing your best basketball in December and January, but you've seen spurts of greatness for your team. As we enter February, when do you hope that this team is playing at its peak consistently?
Now, February for us, our next 5 out of 6 games are at home. And so it's a great time for us to get on a roll, to take advantage of home court advantage. And so I think right now is a great time for us to get going. We're getting to play against our travel partner this week, and then we have a bye week. So then we can, hopefully get this win on Thursday, heal up a little bit, get some time off our legs, rest up. Also, maybe put in a couple of new things to get us through the next home stretch right before conference tournament.
And the Cardinals are 7-2 when playing at home. And we talked earlier when we spoke at Basketball Preview Days about defense and that being a priority for this team. Where has this team come defensively from when you guys first started?
A really long way. We had to make some adjustments coming off of COVID, not playing our first 2 games and not having our wind under us because, we were shut down for a few days. And so we went from being predominant man-to-man team to having to mix it up and play some zone. And our young ladies adjusted really, really well. And I mean, it's kind of what's the game plan, coach, and we're going to make sure we follow it. And like I said, our young ladies are used to being able to adjust. That's kind of been my career here. But the first season was, team trying to get to know a new coach. The second year was COVID year, and now here we are. And so adjusting to the travel and different things that come along with playing in the WAC. And so, but we've done a tremendous job of switching back and forth from man to zone, and our young ladies have just followed the game plan.
And you mentioned playing your travel partner in your first of 4 games at home. UTRGV, what have you seen from them, and how important is it to get a win and start this home stretch the right way?
Yeah, well, one thing, they're coached really, really well. I've known Lane for a really good time, for a really long time. And we're going to kind of see ourselves offensively. We both run dribble drive, a few different kinks here and there. So we're going to have to keep the ball in front, not foul. And then defensively, we're going to have to take away their 3-point shot, turn their threes into twos. And they do a really good job of spreading the floor. And they have a lot of people that can shoot the ball really, really well. And so that's something that we're going to have to adjust to and make sure we're there on the catch. But, I think it's going to be an unbelievable game, and we're up for the challenge. I'm glad that this first one is on our home court.
And with February being Black History Month, you guys are wearing black jerseys. How important is it for you as a coach in this position to continue to pave the path for women in the industry?
Well, it's really, really important for our young ladies to see representation, on our sideline within our staff. And so I think it's really important that we celebrate Black History Month, celebrate the past, the future, the present, and the future for our young ladies. Our team led a march last year on campus with all, they got the whole university together, and we walked around campus, and they stood up for what they believed in. And so I think it's really important for me as a coach to make sure I give them that platform to use their voices and to represent the things that they want to represent.
Well, Coach Franklin, it was a pleasure speaking with you today, and we wish you the best of luck as we continue conference play. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have more basketball coming up next on the road to WAC Vegas. Road to WAC Vegas. Chicago State's Aaliyah Collins has been named the WAC Ticket Smarter Freshman of the Week for the 5th time this season. Collins averaged over 15 points per game last week. Stephen F. Austin's Stephanie Vischer was named WAC Ticket Smarter Player of the Week after helping guide the Lady Jacks to a pair of wins on the week, averaging a double-double. Vischer and the Lady Jacks remain undefeated in WAC play this past week. They played 2 of the top 3 teams in the conference. First, hosting Seattle U, Vischer taking this one all by herself, drives to the basket, gets the and one. Zaya Nugent loses her shoe on the dribble, gets the ball back. No shoe, no problem. Drains the 3. Nugent had 15 points, 11 boards. SFA defeats SU 76-57. 2 days later, California Baptist inside the Coliseum. Ayanna Johnson fights her way for the basket. Johnson recorded a double-double to extend the Lady Jacks lead in the 4th quarter. SFA wins our WAC featured game of the week, cruising past CBU 79-62. On Monday night, SFA on the road at Grand Canyon. Kylie Flowers swats the ball away. Lopes convert defense to offense. Tiana Brown hits the jumper. Lady Jacks trailing until the 3rd quarter. Tasharian Robinson hits back-to-back threes, and Stephen F. Austin never looked back from there. A huge second half, and they get the win 61-43 over Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon will travel to Riverside to play California Baptist in our featured game of the week. Both the Lancers and the Lopes are 6-2 in the WAC. CBU looking to break a 2-game losing skid in front of home fans. Game tips off Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN+. The Lopes hosted New Mexico State, a close game throughout all 4 quarters. Tie ball game when Amara Graham hits the last-second jumper for the game winner, or should we say Graham winner. That's the grad guard's second game-winning buzzer beater this season. GCU wins by a score of 61-59. Lamar head coach Aqua Franklin gave us some insight on her team earlier in the show as the Cardinals had won 4 of their last 5 games before heading out to Tarleton. The freshman Acacia Davis has been tough for opponents to slow down all season. Despite 2 defenders on her, she gets the shot to fall for another double-double performance. The Cardinals beat the Texans 53-45. Against Abilene Christian on the road, Wildcats' Maddie Miller with the quick pass to Sarah Griswold 4-2. ACU takes down LU 66-54 to sweep the week 2-0. This week, we challenged our followers to show off their creativity. We asked for people to design their own WAC Vegas themed basketball court. Big shout out to Chris Rodriguez for his New Mexico State design that won him tickets to WAC Vegas. If you're not following WAC Sports on Instagram and Twitter, give us a follow. We post contests every week for a chance to win tickets to #WAC Vegas. This week's theme is Groundhog Day. Reply to our thread on Twitter the game you would like to relive over and over for your chance to win. The countdown is on. We're just 5 weeks away from the madness at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. I'll see you next week.